Hello everybody, welcome to Beaver Stadium where Penn State has just defeated Auburn at home 28-20. You know, it was a really exciting game, really lived up to the hype of an SEC Big Ten matchup. Some exciting plays on both sides and came down to the last drive at the end. But, you know, Max, the offense tonight, once again, Sean Clifford made some really smart decisions. And as we, of course, have seen for 2 years now, Jahan Dotson doing what Jahan Dotson does, making big play after big play. The tight ends were heavily involved. Mike Yurcich, a ton of creativity. What did you say?
I just like to say that I've been clamoring for some more tight end involvement since week one, and we got it tonight, and I mean, they were phenomenal. Like, seriously, all three of them got involved, and we've been hearing plenty all offseason about how good they are, and they showed it tonight. I mean, Brent Strange and Theo Johnson getting open down the seams consistently was one thing, and then Tyler Warren coming in and running the Wildcat, which nobody saw coming, I don't think. But overall, I was really impressed with Sean Clifford tonight as well. You know, and a lot of that comes from the offensive line play because they were phenomenal tonight too. I mean, there was a play early on in the first quarter where Clifford probably had 12 seconds to stand in the pocket and throw the ball. And the offensive line was great tonight, but Clifford was really confident, stood in there, and just like James Franklin said, you know, there were a lot of times last year, 2 years ago, where he would have rolled out of the pocket and, you know, kind of not taking what's given to him. But tonight, he stood strong, he waited, he took his reads, and he played a great game. You know, even the one turnover he had it wasn't the end of the world. So a great game from Sean Clifford, and like you said, Jahan Dotson, and you know, he threw the ball tonight, so maybe quarterback battle, but I don't know about that. How about the defense, Seth?
Defense, I think, played pretty well. I think coming into this game, you know, Tank Bigsby, in my opinion, is the best offensive player this Penn State team has faced up to this point, and he showed that tonight. Auburn, you know, they combined for 195 rushing yards. Jarquez Hunter was another guy who went off last weekend against Alabama State, 147 yards on 8 carries. So these are guys that you expect to have good games. And there were certain points within the game that I think Penn State's defense did need to do a better job at attacking the run game. And I think in the future that's something that will need to be addressed. But I think especially in the pass game, really, you know, disabling that part of the offense, it makes it really hard for a team to win when all you can do is run on the ground, and if that's not working, there's nothing else to turn to. So I think overall, it was a really good game for Penn State's defense. I think, you know, they didn't have a single sack today, so pass rush ability, you know, that's something you need to work on as well.
Ebiketie and Luchetto were in Bo Nix's face all day. Even without the sack, they were in his face all day. Regardless,
I think it's still good to get to the quarterback. You know, even on the Auburn side, there's still 1 sack in the whole game, which is actually just a crazy stat as it is. But overall, I think Penn State's defense is looking as strong as ever. You know, the secondary looks great. Jair Brown really surprised me today. Jaquan Brisker continues to make some big hits. I think, you know, it's really just a matter of improving from here.
Of course, something we have yet to mention was, of course, the atmosphere here was unbelievable. It was as loud as it could possibly get. The press box was shaking all game. So, of course, that played a huge factor in this win for Penn State, who moves to 3-0 now, defeating the number 22 team in the country. They will be back home next week to take on Villanova. Continue to follow the Daily Collegian's coverage of Penn State football throughout tonight and the rest of this week at collegian.psu.edu and PSU Footblog on Twitter.